Our task was to build a collapsible bridge that could span 4 feet and fit inside of a cubic foot when folded up. It had to hold at least 60 pounds at the middle of its span and weigh less than 8 pounds. It couldn't deflect more than 25 degrees, and extra points were awarded if it could hold more than 60 pounds, was lighter than 8 pounds, or is creatively designed.
During our first meeting as a group, we addressed the research part of the design cycle. The first part of our research was to look up historical bridge designs. Most of the bridges that were successful involved trusses and triangle shapes. The second part of our research involved finding materials that were strong but also lightweight. The final task in our research was to think of a way to make the bridge collapse into a cubic foot.
Our initial design does not incorporate any trusses. This is because we assumed that aluminum strength to weight ratio would be enough, that we didn't need to incorporate trusses in the design. And by not doing this, we would also save significant amounts of weight because our design would be much simpler than if it did incorporate trusses. It would also be even more easily collapsible. By not including trusses, we were able to make most of the bridge into one single part. And that way, it was a very elegant and simple design, and there weren't a bunch of parts to separately connect together on design day.
After we finished our bridge, we took it to Carmichael Gym to put weights on it. It successfully held up to 80 pounds before it started to bend too much and fall through the gap. The bridge was bending so easily because the nuts were falling off, loosening the bolts that were holding the bridge together. In order to fix this problem, we found longer bolts and used 2 nuts on each bolt instead of just 1. This added more support for our bridge and a backup nut if one came off during testing. We also acquired 2 bungee cords that we attached on the bottom of the bridge to help keep it straight when supporting weight.
Our bridge was fairly successful on Fed Day. It ended up holding 75 pounds and weighed in only at 3.5 pounds. We think we were probably the lightest bridge to compete, and we were definitely the only aluminum bridge in our morning section. And we think it could have been able to hold more weight, but at 75 pounds, the bridge began to flex significantly, and it would have probably fallen through the gap with more weight. Another aspect is that our bridge may have been able to hold more weight if they added it in smaller increments. At Fed Day, the judges were adding increments of 20 pounds to the bridge, and if they had used some of the less heavy weights, then we might have been able to hold around 80 or 85 pounds before the bridge fell. Unfortunately, our bridge did not place in the competition, but since we were one of roughly half of the bridges to actually fit the requirements, I would say our bridge was a success. Our bridge had a very good ratio of weight held to the actual weight of the bridge. Probably one of the best out there. It did not hold the most weight, however. There were at least a few bridges that held the full 150 pounds.
If we had made our bridge longer, we could have put more weight on it without the fear of it falling through the gap. We also contemplated making the bridge more visually appealing to earn the extra points from the judges. And not using a truss wasn't the best idea. If we would have used a truss, the bungee cords would have made a more significant contribution to the structure of the bridge.
The most important advice I would give the incoming freshmen is to start early. Freshman Engineering Design Day comes much sooner than you think. Another piece of advice is that everyone in your group should have a solid understanding of the problem and constraints before your first meeting as a group. Using past examples of your project done by other groups as an inspiration can help guide your own project as well.